horses have such individual personalities. There are some of them who are these eager to please. Yes sir, 3 bags full sir guys. Then there are the prima donnas who turn around and say, you touched me, now go to hell, I'm not talking to you. And there are the macho, stallion types who is, like the guy in the gym who's like flexing his muscles and and that's all he's good for until you ask him to perform, and then he says, no. He says, I'm not doing anything, I like looking at my biceps. So that's the whole thing, you got to kind of, you have to understand the deep down what is the animal, and then how you can actually channelize all of that into a more positive kind of mindset. The way that I like to look at it is, I personally love, the horses. The more stubborn they are, the more willful they are, I actually like them more. Because the same animal which is hard-headed, stubborn, frustrating, difficult, when that animal actually says, right, I think I figured this out, they then stand shoulder to shoulder with you. That same stubbornness says that I'm going to, and we're going to fight this. That attitude then converts into sparkle in the arena. There's kids who come in here who are nervous, who are, introverts, and then they find that horses give them the chance to express themselves, and you have a partner who accepts you the way you are, and you have these kids bloom. One of the kids who came to me way back is one of my students, I remember, this guy called Hriday, came to me, his mum had passed away, and obviously father was having a difficult time kind of coping with him. He was what, 8 or 9 when he came to me. 8 he was, and he came and he rode over here and he followed me like a tail, irritated the hell out of me, I must say. And at the end of the camp he just told his dad, I want to stay here, and his father broke down because after his mom passed away, this kid had shown no interest in anything, and so he stayed with me the whole summer, and for almost 7-8 years after that. Today Hriday is one of the top riders for the country, is a strong contender for the Indian team at the Asian Games which are going to come up. He's, this is one of those stories, this is one of those things where a child has discovered himself. Hriday is not a child anymore, he's a young adult, but Hriday has discovered himself, and his discovery was because of horses. I mean, this is just one story, there's so many kids out there. And frankly, that's the part I love the most. I grew up with horses. As a matter of fact, Dad was one of the first brown skins, so to speak, to go to the Newmarket School of Stud Management. So he went there and came back, trained, and he set up the stud farm. I was actually groomed even by Dad and by my granddad to sort of take over the business when the time came. But I didn't really enjoy breeding race horses. It wasn't my thing. For me, it was more, give me a horse, let me get my hands on it, let me work with it physically. But again, I didn't want to get into the racing aspect. So the riding school seemed like the most logical compromise. And again, I have to say that I joined the place purely as a stopgap arrangement to help mom out, help her wrap up operations. When I came in to shut it down, we had to pay a lot of people a lot of money. We borrowed from family, from friends, from financial institutions. It was a bit of a mess. And the idea for the first 3 years was, logon ka paisa wapas denge and that's it. I'll go back to my computer job and life will carry on. It just kind of took on a life of its own, and 18 years later, here I am. I'm still running things. It's still it's doing well. I've met some wonderful people through this place. I know at least 4 people who've gotten married because they met women over here, me included. I met my wife here. So, you know, it's this massive melting pot where you'll find Mr. Frou Frou, who's driven his Jag from Bombay, chilling with Mr. So-and-so who's come by bus. And they don't care, they've left their cars in the parking. Once they're inside here, they're just guys who love the same thing, you know, they're just people who love the same sport, they're guys who love horses, finished, bottom line. And it's not just about the horses here, right? I mean, there's the dogs, the cats, and the various other animals that are there. There's this whole bunch of it. And for so many people, that itself is a big draw because, you know, they get to come, experience the outdoors, come to a place where no one's going to bother you. You want to sit under a tree and read a book, do it. You want to wander around the place absolutely endlessly and kill a day. I encourage it. I think we all need to, at some point, learn to do nothing. Because if somebody is sitting down and doing nothing, you know, then I know that person has truly come to Japalouppe for the right reasons. You know, sit and read a book, climb a tree, play with the dogs, look at the butterflies. Yeah, that's what's necessary, really. You know, you have to take a page or two out of the horse's books because paradise for a horse is khao, piyo, so jao, wake up, repeat. You know, and that's sometimes we need to just disconnect.